सब्सक्राइब कीजिए हमारे चैनल डिफेसिस को और दबाइए बेल बटन को ताकि आपको मिल सके हमारी वीडियोस की अपडेट सबसे पहले।
In what appears to be an act of insult to India, terror haven Pakistan on Tuesday awarded its highest civilian honour Nishan Pakistan to Kashmiri separatist leader Syed Ali Shah Gilani. This has come a week before the completion of 1 year of the abrogation of Article 370 and bifurcation of the state of Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories. Gilani had resigned on June 29 from the faction of the Hurriyat Conference, Tehreek-e-Hurriyat, he had floated in 2003 citing rebellion against leadership by cadres. He has written a detailed letter to Hurriyat members in which he said, given the present situation within the Hurriyat Conference, he is completely dissociating himself from the platform, Gilani's spokesperson said in a press statement. Gilani had reportedly said that he was unhappy with Hurriyat members for staying quiet over the decisions of centre that are being implemented in the valley, such as the abrogation of Article 370. Pakistani spy agency ISI is planning to carry out a terrorist attack in Ramjanambhoomi in Uttar Pradesh's Ayodhya on August 15, sources in intelligence agencies revealed on Tuesday. According to intelligence agency RAW, the ISI was training Lashkar and Jewish terrorists in Afghanistan to launch the attack. The Pakistani agency had planned to send 3 to 5 groups of terrorists in Ayodhya for the attack. Indian intelligence agency revealed that Pakistan wants the terrorist group to carry out separate attacks and in such a way that it appears as an internal attack within India. The intelligence agency has also found that the VIPs will remain on the target of the terrorists so that the impact of this attack is felt at large. Meanwhile, the security system has been tightened to keep a check on the activities in Delhi, Ayodhya, and Kashmir. On August 5, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi is scheduled to lay the foundation stone of Ram Janmabhoomi in Ayodhya. Notably, this is also the same day when Section 370 was removed from Kashmir in the year 2019. Chinese and Indian troops have completed disengagement on most parts of the disputed border between their two countries after violent clashes broke out in June, AFP reported quoting China's foreign ministry on Tuesday. Tensions soared between the two countries in June after the deadliest fighting in decades in which 20 Indian soldiers and an unknown number of Chinese troops were killed on the Himalayan border. The situation on the ground continues to cool down and de-escalate, Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin said at a regular press briefing. The frontline border troops of the two countries have already completed disengagement at most places, he told reporters in Beijing. Wang said the two sides were preparing for a fifth round of talks between military commanders at an unspecified date. After the clash on June 15, Chinese and Indian officials met and agreed to de-escalate the situation. But the nuclear-armed neighbors have continued to reinforce the border between Ladakh and Tibet. India has deployed thousands more troops and is conducting extra-military flights over the mountainous region. Meanwhile, anti-China sentiment has soared in India since the skirmish resulting in street protests and calls for Chinese products to be banned in the nation of 1.3 billion people. The Indian government has banned dozens of Chinese apps including the highly popular video-sharing platform TikTok stating national security and privacy concerns. Against the backdrop of New Delhi's fresh ban on 47 clones of prohibited Chinese apps, Beijing said on Tuesday that it will take necessary measures to safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies. India's June 29 ban on 59 mobile apps with Chinese background, including WeChat, severely damaged the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies, Chinese embassy spokesperson Ji Rong said in a statement. The Indian government has the responsibility to protect the legitimate rights and interests of international investors in India, including Chinese businesses, in accordance with market principles, she added. The Chinese side has lodged solemn representation to the Indian side and asked the Indian side to correct its wrongdoings, Ji said, responding to a media query on whether WeChat was asked to stop providing services to its Indian users. The ban orders for the Chinese apps and their clones are among a string of economic measures unveiled by the Indian government in the wake of the months-old border standoff between the two countries. There was no immediate reaction by Indian officials to the Chinese spokesperson's comments. Following the death of 20 Indian soldiers in a brutal clash with Chinese troops in Ladakh sector of the Line of Actual Control, LAC, there were demands from the public and political parties for restrictions on trade ties with China. In a significant move, the J&K administration has withdrawn a 1971 circular that required a No Objection Certificate, NOC, from its Home Department for acquisition or requisition of land in favor of the Indian armed forces like the Army, BSF, CRPF etc. Now, the Army, CRPF and the BSF would no longer need a No Objection Certificate, NOC, for acquisition/requisition of land in Jammu and Kashmir. The development comes as the central law on land acquisition is being extended to the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Such acquisition in J&K will now be covered under the Right to Fair Compensation and Transparency in Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act, 2013. Air Marshal Raghunath Nambiar, former chief of the Western Air Command who lead the Rafale negotiation team speaking to NDTV said that he believes that 10 years down the line, IAF will have multiple squadrons of upgraded Tejas mk2 which he believes will beat the Rafale. Nambiar also said that IAF might procure at least 12 squadrons of Tejas mk2 in the future and is the choice of the Indian Air Force, IAF. Nambiar has been closely associated with the LCA Tejas program for 7 years and was chase pilot of the TD-1 which first took off for the first time in 2001. Nambiar also said that the upcoming Tejas Mk1A will be a big leap in the technology for our aircraft.